Jay, how's it going?
It's going great, Joe.
How you holding up here on the podcast?
Oh man, I'm getting a little tired. It's been a long road trip. So if you followed us for episodes 1 and 2, we went from Duluth and followed along the scenic drive for episode 1, and then we went from outside of Two Harbors to Camp 61 in Beaver Bay for episode 2.
I think your sugar's just wearing off maybe after lunch from the candy shop in episode 1, but we've had a lot of fun so far. We've seen some beautiful things. It's an amazing day here on the North Shore, and we're just going to keep cruising along.
Yep. We've left Beaver Bay. We're going to kind of bypass Silver Bay, and we'll get to that because we're going to double back to Silver Bay in episode 4. So for this episode, we are going to go from outside Silver Bay, and we are going to drive all the way up to Marais today.
Okay. Sounds like a great day on the North Shore.
I know, and it's a very nice day again. Sun is shining.
I feel like getting out and hiking a little bit. Is that an option?
That's very easy. In fact, our first stop we're going to go to today is Palisade Head.
Nice.
All right, so let's get to it.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Joe.
I feel like doing some exploring.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Let's hit the road, see where we end up.
This is Exploring the North Shore with
Joe
and Jay. All right, so Palisade Head is a large Lake Superior cliff, and the rock of Palisade Head, it's over a billion-year-old rock that was formed from a rhyolitic lava flow. So the flow formed both Palisade Head and Shovel Point, which is just beyond it. Have you been to either of these yet?
I have.
Okay. Womp.
Oh, no! But I'm so anxious.
I'm just kidding. The highest point of Palisade Head is 300 feet above lake level. It is a very popular rock climbing area now.
It is.
So have you ever rock climbed?
You know, I haven't, but I know somebody that comes here every opportunity they get, which is like more than 100 days a year, probably. Wow. Yeah.
I believe somebody also slacklined in this area at one point.
Huh. That's right. Yeah, that's where that was.
Seems terrifying.
Yeah.
So there is day use. You do not need a permit to come in here, but there is no camping and no overnight parking.
Okay.
Here it is.
Gosh, you can see this is one of the most scenic views of the Big Lake that I've ever seen on the shore when I pulled off, and that's at a lot of places, being that I drive this road many times, and this is about as good as it gets. It's pretty much a must stop. I've got a story about one time when I was up here, as a matter of fact. My friend from New Mexico, Albuquerque, came out, and he had stayed for a whole week and been up the Gunflint Trail and Pike Lake, and he had been here for a whole week. And when we pulled off here on the way back to catch the bus in Duluth, showed him this. This was his favorite. He said this was the most beautiful thing he'd seen in the whole week. And he had been appreciating everything up to that point too. So it's pretty much a must stop.
Yes. And it's a quick one. You can pull off. You drive all the way up. If the gates are open, you can drive all the way up, park. And it's just, there's a nice stone ledge, barrier between you and the cliff. Yeah. I'm afraid of heights, so I personally stay here. I do not cross over.
Is that why you're clutching onto my digging into my arm?
You might have some fingernail bruises later. And then over past it, you can see Shovel Point. So that's Shovel Point down there. That if you want a quick, easy hike, that one is very easy, very quick. Takes like 5 minutes. I don't know if that's true. I was quite young last time I did it, which probably makes it seem like it was shorter. But it's quick, it's easy. Nice one to do if you're looking for something to do. And then you get a nice view of Palisade Head from the other side. So as opposed to being on Palisade Head. I have a fun story about Palisade Head too.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is, if you've ever seen the movie The Good Son, Macaulay Culkin gets dropped from Palisade Head.
What? So, I haven't, but I'm going to go watch it tonight.
They joked when that happened that if you die in a movie, it's the death of your career. And that actually kind of did affect his career for many years. So he did have
that
a comeback. Well, drugs. But, so that movie starred Elijah Wood.
Wow.
And when I was a kid, they were filming it up here. And back then, he wasn't anybody famous, so I didn't think anything of it. And then, of course, years later, he starred in the Lord of the Rings movies.
There you go.
So
yeah.
I wish I could go back in time and have gotten a picture or something. But, yeah. So if you want a great movie, not all of the movie was filmed up here. I believe it was just a few scenes plus the scene where Macaulay Culkin falls off the cliff.
Who's the good son, Elijah Wood?
Technically, Elijah Wood is not the son, he's the nephew. And Macaulay Culkin is this evil demon child who tries to kill his sister. And then his mom drops him off a cliff.
Okay.
I just gave away the whole movie plotline, but
Well,
trust me, it doesn't matter.
In that case, thanks. You see, now my night is freed up to do more fun things on the North Shore.
I don't even know how easily accessible that movie is these days, so there you go. All right, so now we're going to head back into the car and head up to my personal favorite spot on the North Shore, which is one many people know about, but not many people go to, and I think they should. See you soon. So now we are heading towards, well, we're very close to the town of Schroeder, but we're actually going to turn over here really quickly into, it's listed as, I think, a safe harbor, but what it really is the town of Taconite Harbor.
The town of?
The town of.
I always think of it as like the old energy plant.
It's a big plant, but back in the 1950s, during the height of the Erie Mining Company was the company that ran Taconite Harbor, they decided to build an entire town to house their employees. And they brought in, I think it was 20 to somewhere around 25, something like that, these pastel, single level, cute, straight out of the 1950s. There was a tree-lined street, and it was basically two streets lined with houses. They also had a fire hall, a community center, a playground, baseball field, basketball field, tennis courts. At one point, 75 kids called Taconite Harbor home.
No way. I had no idea this was... So Taconite Harbor was the name of the town?
Taconite Harbor is the name of the plant, but they called the town. It was actually technically a community within Schroeder.
Okay.
So it wasn't its own town, but it was known as the town of Taconite Harbor. But then, the tides changed in the 80s, and people kind of... What started off as this picturesque, almost like perfect, idealistic, 1950s, again, pastel tree-lined neighborhood, started becoming a little overwhelmed with the taconite dust plus the noise pollution from the plant. It just got... Hold on, we have a fly. You're free! All right. We are legitimately in the car, everybody. Just in case you're wondering.
This is real time.
This is happening. Okay, so again, by 1986, people started to leave. Erie Mining Company decided to stop supporting the town. People started trickling out, and eventually they said in 1990 that for $1, you could buy one of the houses.
Wow.
The catch was you had to pick it up,
you had to
take
move
it out of town.
Okay.
A lot of those ended up in Silver Bay. And a few ended up in just lots that people bought along the shoreline. And in 1991, the last of the buildings was removed from the town. So there are no buildings left there.
Okay.
But to this day, there are streetlights. There are...
What?
You can see the two roads. It's kind of this interesting... there's a documentary that was made a few years ago. It's like shows what life would be like with people not around anymore. And you can almost see that firsthand. I mean, people still visit there. You can still go there. But you can see the remnants of the street. And I mean, it's been, 1990 since somebody's lived there. And you can see how much of it has been taken back by nature. So this was it. This was, you could still see the lines in the road right here.
Yep.
And as you can see, most of the road's gone.
This was a road through town?
This was the main road through town. There's two roads. One goes this way and one goes this way. So they run parallel.
Deep holes over there.
Yep. So that's where I think, so you'll see elements of obviously life. Like this was where people lived. There used to be multiple street lights. One currently still stands. And that is what you'll want to look for if you're going to come and check this place out, is that one street light. The road, the right half is still kind of intact. The left half, where we're walking right or next to us, is mostly gone. You'd almost wouldn't be able to tell that there was a road here.
Where were the homes?
The homes are right over here. So they lined this street, and they lined the street that's over here.
And that birch tree was either in someone's yard or shows how old it is.
Yep. So they did plant some trees.
Okay.
It's hard to tell which ones.
Maybe that spruce, that's probably like 15 years old, 20 years old. How long ago was the town here?
So it was built in the 1950s.
Yeah.
And then became nothingness in 1991.
Okay.
And there's mounds now. We're walking over the road. You can kind of see how the earth over here has pushed it up.
I wonder if there's agates in there.
Could be. If you look closely, you'll start seeing signs of the sewer system.
Wow.
Which, oops, I just tripped over. Okay, right here, the curb. So you can see the curb that used to be.
Yeah, sure. My goodness.
It's a really interesting place. It's quiet, peaceful. Now this is what I think is cool. We're standing in the middle of the road, and in the middle of the road with us are these 10-year-old trees or so.
Yeah.
That have completely gone up right in the middle. Like that's pretty much the center line right there. Man, this has even changed since I was here last year. More of it's even gone now. So if this is something you want to see, it'll definitely be something you want to visit soon. And I remember when I was a kid, there was still the street signs were still up.
Really?
I think over time people stole those pretty quick.
Yeah.
Well, we moved to Silver Bay in 1992.
Okay.
So the town was pretty freshly gone. So back then, the streets were streets. Everything was still there. The foundations of the houses, the yards were still kind of intact.
Yeah.
And now I can't even see over to the other side, which you used to be able to see over to the other street really easily from here.
Yeah, you get the sense that something happened here, but if you didn't know, you'd think maybe it was just part of an old parking lot or something.
Like for the plant, yeah. All right, so we just finished walking what remains of the 2 streets. Well, really now, let's face it, 1.5 of Taconite Harbor. And that's it.
Hey, cool. I like it. I learned something new today. A town once existed here that is no longer here.
And did you know that the North Shore actually has about a dozen ghost towns?
Jay, I need to spend more time learning from you, Jay, instead of talking so much.
I think we're going to do an entire Halloween episode.
Cool.
Ghost towns of the North Shore.
Yes.
And
yeah, I'm getting hungry.
All right. I know a place we can go to eat. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Exploring the North Shore with Joe and Jaye is brought to you by Cascade Vacation Rentals. With the largest selection of privately owned vacation rental homes and cabins on Minnesota's North Shore of Lake Superior from Duluth to the Canadian border, use the promo code PODCAST to get the biggest discount currently available on your next stay with Cascade Vacation Rentals. Book online at www.cascadevacationrentals.com or by phone at 888-868-2972. Some exclusions do apply.
All right, Jay, just pulling in now here off Highway 61 into this malt, pizza, subs, bakery, espresso. Kind of got it all. Apparently, he also has the post office here in Schroeder.
That's a small town for you.
So, yes, it's a beautiful, kind of an old barn, log cabin looking type structure, and we are going to go in here and get some food, which sounds perfect for me right now. And how about you?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's go check it out. See what this is all about. Not calling your name?
No, I'm not a big nacho person.
What about quesadilla?
I do like quesadillas.
Quesadilla and a malt?
There's a cheese quesadilla.
Oh, a
cheese. Yeah.
What about a wrap and a malt?
What kind of malts do they have?
Chocolate.
Look on the back.
What
There
about
you
pizza?
go. Well, I said calzone. You seem to poo-poo that.
No.
Vanilla, chocolate, caramel, mint, and strawberry are the flavors of malt.
I'll get a chocolate malt and a sub.
You're going for the sub?
Or I don't know. What are you getting?
I don't know. You said quesadilla. Now that kind of that did speak. Or do I want a calzone? It could be a pizza or a calzone. They're the same price.
Let's get a pizza and eat off of it.
Do you want to just share a pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like?
You like pineapple, you said?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Hawaiian pizza?
Yeah.
With a chocolate malt?
I'm going to get a strawberry malt. But yes. this when you open it up.
All right, Jay. So when I said Pizza Malt Subs Bakery
Espresso.
it's actually the Schroeder Baking Company, just to clarify for the business name. I mean, just, you know, for the record and so forth. But that's what it's called, and it's just a nice family-run business right next to Lamb's Resort, right off the highway here in the community of Schroeder.
Schroeder.
Happens to be named after lumber baron John Schroeder, Jay. I know you're the one with all the knowledge, but I thought I'd drop that on you and see
Some things you can read off the script.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's about 220 people that live in this little community here on the shore, and it's, I guess, kind of the first town, if you will, in Cook County along the shore.
So the actual Cook County line was just before Taconite Harbor, which of course doesn't exist anymore. So Schroeder is your gateway to Cook County.
Yep. You're here. You've arrived.
You have arrived. And this is home to the, what's the building next door?
Cross River Heritage Center?
Cross River Heritage Center. Great place to stop into if you want some history on the area.
Yeah, and they do events in the summer too. I know they had a book reading there just last night, as a matter of fact, with a local author. And so there's all kinds of things that happen there, community events, but that would be interesting to people from outside the area.
So definitely check them out. And we're just waiting on our pizza and our malt now. And then we are going to carry on back on the road.
Cool. Look at that. Canadian bake. This is like freaking awesome.
There's a
language
lot
and
of
enthusiasm, but
there's a lot of toppings on that. I mean, it's a Hawaiian pizza, so it has Canadian bacon, pineapple, cheese, but there's a lot of cheese. Wow. It's very cheesy.
Okay,
right.
You're first, Jay.
We have our malts. Here, I gotta move. There we go. I got malts. I want this one.
This is the most excited I've been since the candy shop.
So food is what you're saying makes you happy.
Evidently.
Ah. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. I understand now why they gave us a fork and a knife.
Mm-hmm. And a napkin.
Right, biting in.
Okay.
Oh, it's hot.
Mm-hmm. Tread carefully.
It's piping hot just out of the oven.
Handmade, Jay.
This is good.
Friendly and quick and efficient.
Well, they brought our malts right out to us at the picnic benches.
I'm very pleased with how this all worked out.
And this whole meal, 2 milkshakes and I would say medium-sized pizza, $25.
Nice.
All right, Joe, well, that was good lunch.
Yeah, totally. Thank you, Jay.
And
for the suggestion of Schroeder Baking Company.
Yeah, that was good. So good pizza, good food, decent prices.
I'm totally content once again.
Yes, so that was basically our dinner, because we're getting pretty late in the day here, but we have a little bit left to do. So let's continue on, and next we're heading up to Tofty.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
We're making our way up the shore. What's the deal with the cross?
Okay, so you'll see a historic marker this way sign. Take a right off Highway 61. You're going to drive down a little ways. It's right up here.
Yeah, there it is.
And this will take us to Father Baraga's cross. Now, Father Baraga was a Catholic priest, and he would come to the Great Lakes region to basically do missionary duties. But he did more than just like trying to convert the natives. He was actually helping out with medical needs and food needs and other things that they needed. He would help provide that. So in 1946, he heard that there was possibly an epidemic in Grand Portage, and he felt he was needed up there. So he decided to make the 40-mile trek from the Apostle Islands, where he was, to Grand Portage. And he decided rather than go around the Safeway, he would cut across, on the lake, which of course has its risks to it, I guess. And that was exactly what happened, was the thing that you fear the most when you are on a 40-mile trek across Lake Superior in a boat. A sudden storm swelled up, and it was just very violent. You know, we see those. They come out of nowhere, toss you around a bunch, and he thought he was going to die, as most people would in that situation. But he didn't. He actually made it across the lake. The storm kind of let up, and right when it let up, he sailed into the area that is now the Cross River. And he was so grateful for, being spared and he was still living and he was able to go do what he came up here to do. He erected this wooden cross on the site. So I don't know, I guess he probably cut down a tree or something.
Yeah.
And he just braved a storm on Lake Superior. What do? You cut down a couple trees and make a cross.
Okay.
And then he carried on doing his duties. Well, that cross was later converted into this granite cross, which we can see right over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk out there a little bit here. And that cross stands here today as the story of how the Cross River got its name. And, of course, kind of, a little bit of history on the early days of this area. You can just, it would take you days to get around the lake the long way.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can probably a half a day drive.
Yeah.
But, so that is the story of Father Baraga's Cross. Again, it's just another quick, easy, kind of cool historic side trip you can take. And there's this nice public area here.
Yeah, and the
picnic
river
tables.
flows in over here. This is very inviting for sure.
Very, very picturesque. So a nice public beach area, picnic benches, check out the cross, maybe have a picnic.
And the falls are right up above. So just past the falls is where we turn to come down into here.
So you're going to kind of cross the bridge and you'll see the sign. You saw one. We saw the sign.
Mm-hmm.
And you just swing a right, drive down. What was it? Not even a quarter mile?
Yep.
And there it is.
Cool.
And so that is Father Baraga's Cross. And pretty much the end of Schroeder. So let's get going.
Okay, cool. All right, Jay, now we're back on the road, and we are coming up on Tofte. Tofte is the next town on the shore, not too far past Schroeder, actually, and named after a village in Norway. Wouldn't you know?
That makes sense, since we're all Scandinavian up here.
So, Tofte, Norway, and it's a little bit bigger than Schroeder, not much, 260 plus, 200, between approximately 265 at the last census. So that's the number of people. Small little town on the North Shore. Happens to have a number of places to eat that are pretty well known. Coho Cafe is well known, certainly. There's a cool little market over here on the left. Actually, I should maybe point out too that we just went past Sawtooth Outfitters, a place to rent some gear or purchase some gear. A lot of people get their canoes for boundary water strips from them that are going up anywhere in this area, Caribou or Sawbill area. So a number of cool things. They also do kayak rentals, and this is a kind of a popular outdoor recreation hub. Tofte. It's got kind of an outdoor vibe going on.
It's not a big town where a lot of people live, but it's where a lot of things happen. Bluefin Bay is here, and Bluefin Grill.
Yep.
And just a lot of, it's actually very active. Like today, there's people walking and kind of hanging out.
Yeah. So it's a little busier than Schroeder and a little more of a scene happening here. So pretty cool place, and let's just keep rolling up to the next town of Lutsen.
Okay, so the next town we're coming up to is Lutsen. And actually, before we even hit the town, the thing most people know Lutsen for is up here on our left. That big old sign is telling us we are passing Lutsen Ski Resort.
Yes, indeed. Now the season goes into May, Jay, as you have been sharing that it's the ski season is December to May almost now.
You can, for 2 weeks this past year in May, ski and golf in Lutsen.
On the same day.
The same day.
And people were, and it's so that's something to keep in mind. But definitely the hot spot, no pun intended there. In the winter, that is where a lot of people go.
Yeah, so you can ski there. In the summer, it is still a bit of a recreation area. There's the Alpine Slide. We're going to have to do that someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Another episode for sure. And they also have a scenic gondola. But again, it's not right off the highway. So we're going to keep going. We're going to come in here to the town of Lutsen, which we're just pulling into now. It's another unincorporated community within Cook County. Population of this one's only 190, which when I looked it up kind of surprised me because I picture Lutsen being the biggest town.
I would have thought that too.
Nope, it turns out it's Tofte.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
So what's the, what would you think about Lutsen if you were just passing through for the first time?
I think if you're hungry, if you haven't already eaten, we have a few options up there. We got Coho and Tofte, and we have the Schroeder Baking Company in Schroeder. If you haven't stopped there and you're getting hungry and it's before 2 o'clock, there's the Lockport. So it's like a gas station. It looks like a gas station, but it's actually a really good restaurant. They're pretty well known.
Yeah, breakfast is extraordinary there.
Yep, and that's pretty much all they serve. They have breakfast and kind of a light lunch menu. But if you're up here for a while, definitely hit them up for breakfast at some point. Clearview up here on the left is the first gas station you're going to come to out of, well, there's the Holiday back in Tofty, but this is kind of a cool general store, kind of old school feeling gas station. Very nice place. You can get your fishing license there.
And bait.
And some bait.
They got leeches there, Jay.
Yes, they do. They have them in the ponds and everything.
This is
Tubs.
Important stuff to know.
Yeah. We're going to do your fishing episode someday.
All right.
Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you're coming up here to fish, then definitely check out Clearview. And, you know, of course, Cascade Vacation Rentals is here.
I was going to say, what's that large building back there?
So that is my employer. I don't work there, though. So, you know, can't swing by there to see me. I'm in the other office. But that's pretty much what the town of Lutsen is.
Okay,
Not
cool.
a whole lot here. It's pretty well known for the ski resort. But the actual town is just pretty small, but it's very nicely kept up. Very cute. Fika Coffee just came in not too long ago.
Coffee shop, totally Fika Coffee.
Yeah.
Locally owned. The owner travels and gets beans, roasts them right there, and so it's become a pretty popular spot.
Yes.
Definitely, Fika Coffee. Lutsen to me, Jay, has kind of an artist vibe to it. I know maybe that's just because I know a few people in town in Lutsen that are pretty well-known artists, but it's just always struck me as a pretty artistic community.
Yep. I feel like it's very vibrant. Like when I did work in the Lutsen office, I loved walking, you know, across that wooden boardwalk in front of the office. You know, just going down to the post office. It kind of gave you this good kind of old towny feel. Very nice. I love it there.
Yeah.
Do kind of miss working down there, although I don't miss the commute from Grand Marais.
Yeah, and it's, you know, very much also if you're on the west end of the county in the winter, as we were saying, Jay, Lutsen is just kind of known for ski hill. I mean, Lutsen Tofty, like in the winter, is a busy place.
Yep.
In a good way.
And now I'm going to cut you off here because the moment we have been waiting for.
What is it? What is it?
Right up here on the right. Take a look.
What? Swings!
So
Jay, make a turn. Put your blinker on, please.
I'm already blinkering.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. We've been waiting for this since episode 1.
Yes.
It is now episode 3.
Nobody's even on them.
There's nobody here. This is great. So we have finally found.
So this is just this little community park, and you totally knew. In fact, you probably knew all along.
I knew all along. This is where we're going to end up for the swings.
All right,
I
swings.
thought,
they're like legit swings.
Oh yeah, these are big swings. You're not going to break them. They're in a public park.
This is awesome.
I thought we'd encounter swings earlier than this, but I did know that if we didn't, we had this moment, Joe.
Okay, well, I am finally. What a day.
What a day.
This podcast has all come together. It's like a documentary film with a perfect ending.
Yeah, so this is Grandview Park. It's a public park. There's lots of stuff to do around here.
Sweet.
But most importantly for you right now,
swings.
Swings. All right, here we are.
I'm out of here, Jay. Thank you.
You know what? Okay, so forget the, scenic views, forget the historic places, forget everything. If you're here to swing, this is the place.
Hey,
all right.
Jay.
It's been how many years?
It feels it's a lifetime. Let's just phrase it that way.
Okay.
I mean, I can't even remember. I have more anxiety about this than I do the adventure park in Silver Bay.
All right.
Oh, these are nice swings.
I'll let you have that one.
Okay.
Switching.
I'll see you at the top, Jay.
So this is weird because I feel like these are too tall for kids. But all right, I'm gonna put this down. We're going for it. Here we go.
Awesome.
Keep it up with you.
These are the best swings ever. This is the best day ever.
Watch like everyone we know be driving past right now. What the?
My life is complete.
Oh my God, we're going so high.
Thank you, Jay.
sounds like it's dying. Okay, look to your left. There's a sailboat on the lake. That's going through this clearing in the trees, and it's awesome.
Only on the North Shore can you swing and see a sailboat. All right, thanks, Jay. I owe you for this.
All right, you have fun. I'm gonna go back. Just call me when you're done.
Okay, pick me up tomorrow.
How do I stop?
All right.
All right, there we go.
Yes.
There's a legit sailboat right there. It was going right through that clearing in the trees. Definitely perfect moment. There you go. You got on your swings.
The podcast is complete. Thanks
All
for
right.
listening, everyone.
You have a great day, everyone.
I'm signing off.
Joe, so you've gotten your swings in.
I feel like a new
Fulfilled.
person, or just never felt better in my life, Jay.
But I have to ask, we built up this whole swinging experience to be such a big deal. How was it?
It was great. It
Good.
was incredible.
All
I
right.
was flying through the air. What more do you want? For no charge on an immaculate day on the North Shore.
For the record, we both chickened out and did not do that thing where you go super high and then you jump off. So I think that's reserved for people a little more younger and sprier.
I now know why my mother would not be enthusiastic about that. It seemed really terrifying, actually.
Because, growing up, I knew a kid who legit broke his arm in 3 places doing that.
Yeah, of course
yeah.
someone would do that. That's what would happen.
When you're a kid, I feel like you can break your arm in 3 places and you'll recover. As an adult, I think it would require a little more.
And like forms and payments.
And
Bad
lost
things,
work
yeah.
and insurance claims. And let's just not do. So we didn't do it, but we did swing. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're driving. There's a bit of a stretch here between Lutzen and Grand Marais. We're going to come up here in a few minutes to an area known as Cutface Creek. There's a little lookout over here. You can see the Grand Marais, the point of Grand Marais. But that pretty much wraps it up. This is a great place to stop if you have to go to the bathroom.
I once met the people who were the caretakers of this place.
Really? I didn't know this place had caretakers.
It did.
Oh.
A lovely couple in their 80s who have since retired, and now they kind of are looking. There's various volunteers who take care of it, but they dedicated like 10 years or something to just every day they came down. They lived up the road. They're wonderful people.
Wow, that's kind of cool. So they emptied the garbage, cleaned the bathrooms,
Yep.
made everything look nice.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Every day, all summer, they did it, and they loved it.
That's awesome.
And it's still looking pretty good from what I can see down here right now. So
Yeah. Sometimes you don't realize the distance between Lutzen and Grand Marais, and you're like, I really have to go to the bathroom.
Mhm.
Perfect spot for it. Plus, it's pretty. There's a nice little beach down here, and nice stop. But we're not going to stop because at this point, it is getting rather late. We've been on the road since very early this morning.
you're holding up well, Jay. I just want to let you know that.
I think I need a nap, but it's like only an hour and a half to my bedtime.
Yeah.
So
Grind through it then.
we're just gonna go. We're going home. We're not gonna include Grand Marais in this because obviously we will do a day in Grand Marais at some point. We're also we'll head up to the Gunflint Trail for another episode. We might even head up to Grand Portage for an episode. So more road tripping. But for this particular road trip series, this is it.
Jay, I've had a great time with you, and I'm taking this candy with me.
That's a great way to wrap it up, Joe. So from Brighton Beach in Duluth we are now rolling into Grand Marais. Thank you for joining us in the first 3 episodes of Exploring the North Shore with Joe and Jay.
Had a great time. Thank you so much.
So next week, we're going to be doing something a little more challenging.
More challenging than swings?
Actually, there might be some swings involved.
Oh, cool. Look forward to it.
Stay tuned. We'll be back next week.
See you later.